Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Pre-Market News and Views by In the Money Stocks. Today is Thursday, July 25th, 2013. Thank you all for tuning in. Let's jump right into the charts here. We're going to start off with the usual S&P 500 E-mini futures. You'll see that the futures are trading lower this morning by about 7 points. They actually were lower 5, 6 o'clock in the morning, trading down to 1672.5. But they've inched back up a little bit. We just had some news released. It looks like the weekly jobless claim report was just released. Also, durable good orders were just released as well. May durable good orders were revised higher to 5.2 versus 3.7, and June durable good orders were at 4.2. So, you could read inside those numbers. I'm not really a big number person when it comes to economic data. I just really care about the reaction in the stock market. Makes it very, very simple. So either way, futures were lower. They've inched up a little bit. We'll see if they do proceed to come back down. But right now, lower by about 7 points this morning. Now, there were a lot of earnings last night. I think everybody should be well aware of that. The big earnings really coming out of Facebook. Stock is catching a pretty sizable pop higher. We do have some gap resistance levels for this one this morning, so that I will post up in the chat room at 9 o'clock. But pretty big surge for Facebook this morning. Decent pop when you look at the stock from where it was yesterday, trading around 26.50. But Facebook is not a market bellwether. It's really just a play on mobile telephones. So again, decent little move there though in Facebook this morning. We have a host of other stocks here that are reporting earnings. I believe Qualcomm is another stock that had earnings yesterday after the bell. That's holding up fairly well. The stock has been somewhat on the weaker side. I don't know if there's all that much upside left in this one, but I will have some levels for you going forward. Another big one last night was Baidu. Baidu did catch a very, very sizable bid. Trading higher, stock closed at 113, trading at 132.75. So Baidu caught a pretty sizable move higher. I will have some gap levels for that one. So again, a lot of gaps we'll look for this morning, and we'll see how that all plays out going forward. But it's really all about earnings season, and I think that's where really the focus is. Now, shifting gears a little bit, when we take a look at the European markets this morning, European markets are sharply lower. Not sharply lower, but decently lower. German DAX is down over 1%. The French CAC 40 is down about 0.7%. And you do have the London FTSE, which England, remember, can print their own money. They're down about 0.75%. So a decent little move lower really in Europe. And then you have Milan market, which is Italy, down about 0.9%. So pretty decent fall across the board in most of the European markets today. Now, there was a lot of economic data released out of Europe, but it's hard to make too much out of it. There's just so much coming out. It looks like Spanish unemployment actually declined a little bit, but it's still at 26.3% in the second quarter from 27.2%. But they'd reported a slight decline. So how do you make too much out of it? I'm not really sure how you do. Looking across Asia last night, the Asian markets for the most part were very, very weak. The Nikkei 225 pulled back. That sold off by 1.14%. The Shanghai Composite, which is China, down about 0.6%. You do have the Chinese government saying they're going to try to stimulate the economy there. They're going to try to speed up their railroad system. But either way, China is slowing down, and there's no way you can really say that they're not. Looking at India last night, that was a big decliner. The Bombay Sensex index was down about 1.4%. So again, you watch for weakness in the Indian ADRs today if the U.S. markets are weak. So you could just look at the India fund. That is already starting out a little on the weaker side this morning. So we'll see if this starts to pull back. Yesterday you got a nice reversal day. I would not be surprised if you do see some weakness in a lot of the leading Indian ADRs this morning. I think that is very, very possible going forward. So we'll see how that plays out. But again, other than that, we're not seeing all that much, just a ton of earnings. that are being released, and we'll see how this market shakes out going forward. Looking at economic data today, you will have some more released a little bit later. I believe you're going to get the Kansas City Fed's regional manufacturing activity out at 11 o'clock. I really doubt that's going to be a big mover, but that is going to be the next economic report this morning. So we'll see how this market shakes out going forward. I don't think we should make all that much out of the jobless claims and the GDP and the durable goods report this morning. Again, futures are off the lows a little bit, and you can see them here catching a little bit more of a bid, just down 6 points now. Watch the financial stocks. They'll tell you everything you need to know. Again, JP Morgan, in my opinion, is probably the most important financial stock out there. So keep an eye on that one. As long as that stock holds steady, the markets will probably hold steady. That stock starts to break down. Watch for the major stock indexes starting to break down. NASDAQ futures are up 3.5 points this morning on the back of Facebook, Qualcomm, and also Baidu. So NASDAQ futures are holding steady this morning, but nothing all that spectacular out of that, out of the NASDAQ. Considering they did have there were some pretty good earning reports, or reactions to earning reports, I should say, last night. Alrighty, I think that pretty much wraps it up. Short and sweet today. We'll leave it there, and we'll see how this market plays out. Again, if the U.S. markets are weak, watch for weakness in the Indian ADRs. With that said, have a great afternoon, great morning, great afternoon, and we'll see you on the charts.